So today I want to sit down and talk to you about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and it's probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. And that is way back in 2014, I decided that I was going to host our area's worldwide knit and public event. Now, I do call ours, or mine, the Worldwide Knit and Crochet in Public event because the majority of the crafters in my area are crocheters and I wanted them to feel included. But I started hosting this event and it has become so much more than just about knitting and crochet. There is a real community bond that has developed through string and it is just so rewarding. Every year, on the same day, the second Saturday in June, people all over the world come together to knit and crochet in public. It is not one big organized event in one place. However, it is lots of small, cozy gatherings all over the world, all happening together. And there's just something really special about knowing that while you're sitting there with your yarn, someone across the world is doing the exact same thing. And this is why the event is so important and so dear to my heart because it's about community and it's about relationships and it's people that I've known for years and it's people who just find my event via the paper and I know them for 5 minutes. It is a really big step outside of my comfort zone, but one I feel so rewarded by. My event tends to be a variety of mostly women who come together and catch up once a year, but you would think they've all been best friends forever. And a lot of them do see each other on a regular basis via the local knitting and crochet groups at our local libraries. But in my event, we talk about life. A lot of times it comes up, obviously, what we're knitting and crocheting on. But one of the most meaningful conversations we have is we use that time to take a moment to reflect and to remember the knitters and crocheters who were not there. Talking about the ones who have moved away and moved to other states, or the ones who have moved on from this life, because my community has lost several over the past couple of years, and losing a friend is hard. But I think when you have a community like that where you can heal together, it's very important and it really helps you get through it. And at the same time, we're welcoming new people in, whether they're just walking up from us being in a public space or they're finding us through one of the local groups or the ad that I put in the paper and they're joining us for the first time at the event. It's just a lot of inspiration and a lot of kindness and support poured into one little group time frame. And even though this time of year is very, very busy for me, and by that Saturday, I'm often like sleep deprived beyond imaginable, I get so renewed by going. It really does refill my cup and it really does renew my spirit. Say that if you've never heard of this event, it is a worldwide event. And if you never have been to one, if you don't know if there's one near you, I encourage you to check with your local libraries first to see if there's a local knitting or crochet group if you don't have a local yarn store. If you have a local yarn store, they're going to know about it. They may even host an event that you can attend. But if you don't have that, then definitely check with a local library and see if there's a knitting and crochet group that meets there, and then one of the ladies may know of a local one. You can also check the website. There is a Worldwide Knit and Crochet in Public website, but not all the events are listed there. I know I no longer list my event there. There's a fee to list your event there, and I just did it for a few years, but I never got that much traction from it, so there was really no point to pay that. Most of my group of people come by word of mouth because I've had it for so long in my community. And I put up flyers in the local libraries. Well, one of my great friends, Amanda, helps me do that. She's amazing at helping me do that every year. And I put it in the local paper. And I live in an area where the local paper is still red. I live out in rural Alabama, so those kind of things help get the word of mouth distributed about the event. But I'm having this video for several reasons, and that is because number one, you have a couple of months to prepare if you would like to host an event yourself or to track one down if you want to attend one. And I think it's important to note that it's okay to start small. That's how I did, and then build on top of that because I have been doing this for so long. And every year it's a little bit different. Unfortunately, life has kind of crept in mine a little bit the last couple of years and restricted my ability to do things, and things are starting to change. So I'm excited about what the future holds for my event. Nothing fancy is required, and no skills are required because I have none. It just takes a little bit of planning, a little bit of organization, and a little bit of willingness, really, just to the attempt to try to bring a community of people together. So, what I like to do for mine, I usually set up a section where it has the local library knitting and crochet times. And that way, if people are finding the event via the paper, there's information there so they can find even more local knitting and crochet groups. And I like to provide that. So, I usually just print off something off Canva and then put it in cheap Walmart frames just to kind of have it cutesy. And then I like to have a kind of a sign in way. Most of the people that have been coming to mine already know all their information, but I ask if they would like to give me their email or their number, and then that way I can let them know of future events of anything that's happening in the area. And so I have that, and then I do door prizes. And so as they come in, I get them to write their name on a sheet of paper and it goes in a bucket for the door prizes. And so I want to show you some of the examples of some of the door prizes that I set aside for my event each year, so it can kind of give you an idea of what to kind of think about doing if you would like to do door prizes for yours. While door prizes are by no means required, I do like to have some to give out to bless the people who come to my event. And some ideas of things that I pick out that you might want to be on the lookout for if you want to offer door prizes to yours is kits. And so I bought several of these kind of kits last year or the year before from Target. These are usually in that red spot area, $5 a piece. Great door prizes because they come in a handy little box. Everything's included from the yarn, the crochet hook, and the eyes, the stuffing. I got the potato, I got the positive pepper talk, and I've got the positive pickle. So those are going to be in my this year's door prizes. And then I have other kits. These were originally at Walmart. They were, I guess, clearanced out at some point and sold to Ollie's. So I picked this up at Ollie's for $3.99. Great door prize because, like the others, it has everything, even including the button and the hand towel to make this over the oven towel holder thing. Super cute. Um, I think it was last year that Target had these sets. I need to restaple this one. This were also $5. There's a snail and acorn. And then this one is a pumpkin and a mushroom. But that's a cute way to get people who may only crochet hats or blankets, kind of get them interested in some amigurumi. So it's kind of like an easy way for them to test the waters, so to speak. And I like to include some yarn. So there was these two carrying cakes that were donated. But I have a lot of crocheters in my area, and I like setting stuff aside, but I also like keeping them in mind when I set stuff aside for them, and I know that they love these carrying cakes. So these are going to be as one giveaway unit. And then I have another double set that was donated, and this one's something cherry compote, I think. So that's going to be a set. And then whenever I see yarns like this that are easy to make really anything with, or you can add to them to make a bigger blanket, I grab both of these. I think I paid, well, it's right there, $1.99 for these, but these are going to be as a unit gift. And then little skeins of sock yarn. I don't like to give wool for a couple of reasons. Occasionally I'll do a giveaway for wool, but I don't know people's allergies, and so I kind of have to be careful with that. And I like to give something that doesn't require to have a Swift or a yarn winder because not everyone has those. And I know this because I've actually taken my Swift and my yarn winder to libraries. We have 3 local libraries, and wound yarn for people, and they didn't have access to that because we no longer have any local yarn stores. It's over an hour to the closest yarn store. So I don't want to give them something that they can't use. And I know they can put it over a chair and stuff, but if you're a new knitter or crocheter and you have this really nice hank of yarn, it's very daunting to try to do that, and it can go crazy bad really fast. So things like this where it's just sock yarn and you can do like a center pull or exterior pull like the Barocco sock is a great balance of that, and it's just a great sock. So this one's a 75/25. It's one of my favorite personal bases. I love Barocco sock. It's like a workhorse yarn. It definitely holds its wear, and I think the colors are kind of neutrally, so I try to keep that in mind as well. And then I have these that were donated. I don't know what I should do with these as far as if I should give them away as individual prizes. I don't know. This may be one whole prize. And then I do sometimes pull things out of my personal stash. And since I recently did that clean out, I know I'm not going to use these, but they're all the same lot number. So that's why I would like to give them away to somebody who can use them. Barocco of a red heart with love. And this is in the grape jam colorway. I have 5 of these. So that's like enough to make, I think, probably a wearable or a blanket for somebody. So I want to do these as one gift. So I got these at the first of the year. They were on clearance at Walmart. This is Taupe Splash. This is the Mainstays acrylic, and it has a sparkle in it. It's kind of cool. $1.75. Such a bargain, but this is really nice acrylic. Like, it's soft. It's softer than some Red Heart. So I don't mind it at all. And you can't really feel the stellina that's going through, but I have it in that color. And then I got it in this blue color. And then I got it in a purple. So I also like to keep an eye out for different books and magazines. One of my favorite places to do this is at Ollie's. You can find some really cute knitting and crochet books there from time to time, and I'll buy them and I'll put them up until the event. So for this year, I got Simply Sweet Crochet boutique boutique designs for little girls. I paid $2.99 for this one, and you can see some of the hats here. And then I got this one as a Hobby Lobby clearance. I love knitting caps and hats. 10 patterns in this book, and I paid $1.98. And then this one, 25 scarves, shawls, and ponchos to knit. This is really cute. It's got some cute ideas in here. And this one was $3.23. But so you don't have to spend a lot of money, but you can still have some really cute giveaways. And then I just pick up some random things. I got this at Hobby Lobby during a clearance. I paid $4.99 for this. It's a tools case for your crochet hooks and other storage. Just the simple gray. That's going to be a giveaway. I often take the little free things that I get with magazines. Like, I used to be a Simply Crochet subscriber, and I got all these little free things. And still, I'll buy those magazines and the Simply Knitting whenever I go to town, and I keep the free things, and I like to have those on hand in case more people show up than I planned or that I possibly had known about. And that way I can just kind of throw in a couple extra prizes, and I feel like everyone gets something or has a chance to get something they want. So I'm going to take these this year. There's a bamboo hook, a Tunisian crochet hook, and a cute hook with a charm, and then these knitting needles with these cute little tips on the end of them. And that way I'll have a cushion in case someone else shows up. And then also this crochet hook, a granny square crochet hook, and it has cute little granny squares on it. It came from Hooked magazine, I think. But these things I'm not using, and I just want them to go to someone who is going to use them. So I've been known to give away extra copies of books and magazines that I have. And I do have extra copies of a couple of the crochet magazines set aside, but I have a different giveaway planned for those. So they're not going to go into the pile for this Worldwide Knit and Public door prize thing. But that's a great other option to think about if you have maybe magazines that you don't use that are in nice shape, that you can use those for a giveaway because people still love the patterns in them, even though it's like an older magazine. This year, I think I have a pretty good mix of prizes. I'm not going to try to worry about trying to have a prize for everyone like I have in the past. That's just an unreal expectation that I put on myself. And I'm not going to worry about having like perfect prizes. I mean, you can put your bulk prizes in organza bags and make them really pretty. My event's more laid back, and I don't think it's something that's expected of me. And so I do have organza bags. I just don't feel like digging those out. I don't know where they are right now. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. And some yarn stores and events may just have one big prize to give away, and some may not have a door prize at all. It just varies by location. So if you're interested in that, you can always just ask. So every year with my event, I like to have a donation drive to gather up items for a local charity. And this year I chose the local Save a Life again. I have chosen them in the past, but they just do so much for our community, and it's just a well-deserving organization. But choosing a place for a donation drive is really just a great way to bless others with what you've been given and your talents. And this one is very dear to my heart. And I'll actually be sharing a couple of simple baby hat patterns later this week. I do want to say a couple of things to keep in mind if you are deciding to plan an event for your area, and that is make sure you check with the rules of wherever you're having your event and relay those to your guests in a kind and proper way. So I do hold mine at a local park. They have their own set of rules. I have a Facebook page where I share those rules in each year's event posting. And also make sure you get permission from the local property. Even if it's a public space, you still need permission, or it could be considered loitering, especially if it's a place like a mall or somewhere like that. So just make sure you talk to the correct people ahead of time. Also, have a simple way to relay sudden changes to your attendees. So I did mention the Facebook page. That is a perfect way for me. I keep that going, and people can find me that way through Facebook, but also it allows me to create a vid every year, and I can put if there are sudden changes because of storms or inclement weather in general. We are in Alabama, and tornadoes are definitely a thing here in the summer. So getting that information out is very important for your attendees so they're not driving a long way and then get there and not have an event to attend. Also, make sure you put clear directions on your event so that way people can find you. We have GPS and modern technology now, but sometimes I think that can be really bad because it can really mess up where you're going if it's like new roads being built. So just kind of check over that before you post it and make sure that is accurate. And maybe consider having just a couple of general rules for your event just because it will help keep things running smooth and fair. If you have questions about those, feel free to message me or leave a comment and I'll let you know what those are for me. I hope you know watching this that you are not alone and that you do not have to craft alone if you do not want to. We already have such a beautiful community here in the comments of my channel, and I just want to commend you for that and say thank you, as well as in our Discord community. There is a lot of inspiration and a lot of support there, and it does not go unnoticed by me or others. These kind of events can be like in a little extension of that, of where you are. They don't have to be scary or overwhelming if you don't want them to be. It can be simple as meeting a few friends on that day for coffee and some knitting or crochet somewhere, or it could be as something is a really big hosted event. But there are communities similar to this all over the world. And I think that's beautiful. I truly believe that those moments matter and that connection to other people matter. And who knows? You may go and you may make a friend who is with you for years to come.